time on just to see how far it is. Look at that little house. I mean, we're talking going back to Thomas Bain's day, Die Squirrel Hasey. Tomorrow I'm going to meet the owners and get some history on this incredible little I can't even call it a town, little settlement. Really, really stunning. So we decided tonight that we are not going to do the rooftop tent. We want to try out the two-man tent that I got from Front Runner as well. So you just throw it in the air. Jesus. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm here to tell you that these inflatable mattresses are cuck. Isn't that beautiful? I'm looking at this and thinking, it should be just to see how long it is. Different show, so childish. Onward we pushed, our final destination, Victoria Bay. This is like a bra dance.
I'll stop drinking when Captain Morgan puts his leg down.
Oh, there you go, right. I'm getting my steps up. Morning. The cup says the good life, and it is. Vic Bay. No surf though, which is a bit sad, but I'll tell you what, I'm going for a paddle, irrespective. But first, coffee. Garden route tourism, I think, has the best and the easiest job in the world because this place is so marketable. It's amazing. Vic Bay holds special memories. We've come here plenty to surf. Been a lot of surfing contests that we've hosted and been a part of here as well. And that caravan site for me, I've always thought is probably the best location, but I've never had the chance to actually go and stay in it. And that was why when we put this trip together, I said, listen, if we're going to go anywhere and we're going to be camping, I've got to get to Vic Bay because I've got to surf and I've got to get to stay at the caravan site. So let's see, maybe we'll just get wet. It's not worth it. Listen, obviously less than ideal surfing conditions, but I just desperately needed to get in the water. It's Vic Bay. As surfers, you know, conditions aren't always going to go your way. Next time we're going to stop is going to be Elands Bay. It's in a couple of days' time, but the board will go in the water whenever I get a chance. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Passmore, to Marius from the Garden Route District Municipality. This is not pet friendly, so we weren't allowed to have dogs in the caravan park, but they made an exception for us under pretty strict conditions. So thank you for that, because I got to camp at a campsite I wanted to camp at, and I got to, well, I wouldn't call it surf, I got to paddle at Vic Bay. It was amazing. So Rano Front Run obviously geared me up with a surfboard rack that fitted on the top of our setup over here, but there just wasn't space to fit the board. So what they've done is they've sent down a side mount that's going to fit in the side of the rack, and Magda and the team at LA Sport here and George are going to fit it and mount it for us. So very, very cool.
I think this we've learned in the past is that the cables do rattle down there. So you just take a piece of tape, put it there, When you close it, it's a positive latch, and it's nothing.
Amazing. But yeah, but that's what you said. I mean, everything that you guys do and Front Runner, it's very much you live the brand, you live the life. You guys are out there, so you know what you need. Like you're telling me now, you've got plugs for your tires. You know, it's like something I wouldn't think of.
Yeah. But Front Runner listens. That's what's nice about it. They don't just design something from the market and say make it work. They listen to their customers. Like look at your ammo box corners there. They'll keep it in position. It doesn't move around.
Yeah.
You know, stretch it, straps. Works perfect.
So when we started our trip, it was a Sunday and we were running late, got to my folks to load the dogs, and I had the wheel turned, luckily, because I saw there's a nail through our General Grabber tyres, and obviously couldn't plug it or fix it, everything being closed on a Sunday. And since then we've been off the beaten track. So the first opportunity coming back into civilization, I thought best I get this fixed. So we popped into the best drive here in George. Let's get them to plug that tyre. So you know we need to document our trips, so we've got to make sure everything is charging. And Chopper over here went and blew the fuse on the cigarette light in the cubbyhole. So Umpy at the Isuzu dealership in George is helping us out putting a new fuse in, and we'll be up on the road in no time. Destination Die Hel. We're doing Otaniqua Pass, which is beautiful, but the plan was to do Montague Pass, which I've done many times. I've also done it going on the train, which was really an awesome experience. But we are running late with all of our little stops that we had to do on the way, and the trip to Die Hel is going to take quite some time. But Montague has to be on your list. It is wow, 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 wow.
My son is
What are you
13.
debating?
This might end up on the television. So my son,
tell the truth,
my
bro.
son is 13, and for the last couple of years, whenever he's got mates in the car, I turn to the whole lot of them and I say to them, listen guys, it's not too late, because you're still young. I'm telling you, you need to pick your friends very carefully.
And you didn't do that clearly.
Because
You've obviously really cocked up there.
because they tend to stick around like burrs on a dog's
Yeah.
ass. And I know. So look at your friends carefully when you're young and just work it out.
another guy.
Oh, and he was a tag on.
Yeah, and then we met him, and then the other guy left, and now we left him.
So you guys have now flipping pedal powered from Die Hel.
Yes.
So it must have been Die Hel being with him.
Yeah.
Like a place or what?
Down and back.
There's not a lot there.
Not a great deal there.
Because there was that fire.
Yeah. But there's not a lot. There's not
Yeah.
a lot there.
What did you guys do? Did you just cycle there and now cycle back?
So we were from Prince Albert into Die Hel yesterday,
Yeah.
and from Die Hel back to here.
And why? Is there something wrong with you
Because
guys?
Because we have the thinnest, lightest that wants to that came here once and just can't think, ew, it'd be cool for the posse to come and ride. Said the 62 kilo hobbit over there. Then you know what makes it worse. You ride in there, and that's what shows you how sadistic he is. Because you know, I gotta ride back out of this.
Yeah. Because you've seen what you've had to do.
Yeah,
There's
you
a one.
stop
It's
at the
one
top
way.
and you just look down and think, I gotta get in and out of it. It's childish.
No, because they said it's hectic on the car. So.
No, so we've been riding together for nearly 20 years as a bunch. And then this year I turned 50, so I was told I needed to organize a 4-day ride.
He did
because-
not organize it.
Yeah.
It's the most disorganized ride we've ever been on.
But we're here.
It's awesome.
How disorganized are we?
Where are you guys from? Are you Cape Town based or Cape Town? Very cool.
We've got a Joburg Porchy with us too.
You have to in
Gotta
case
round things off a little
but
bit.
also in case there's trouble.
Yeah.
You know, is he Lebanese as well?
He's going to be no good if there's trouble.
Oh, really?
He's going to be no good.
I know I'm meant to be making food on the run. But sometimes you are on the run. You don't have time to make food because you've got to run. Bloody hell, it's good, eh? Having driven the Swartberg Pass a few times and staying in Prince Albert many times, I've always been fascinated by the settlement called Die Hel, and there have been so many different stories, you don't know what to believe. So destination today is Die Hel because I want to find out the truth. The name in itself, looking at this landscape, people might go, oh, that's why it's called Die Hel, because it is just so dramatic. But for me, it's more otherworldly. I mean, I've never seen terrain like this. And you know, you look on our Garmin and it tells us, 19 kilometers to go, and you wonder why people are telling you to get there is going to be like a 3-hour trip, because the road is it's pretty 4x4 special terrain. This, it's going to be something really special for me. Spend a night in Die Hel, have a chat with the locals, and find out why on earth you'd want to live so far from civilization. What I'm realizing with this whole overlanding experience is how diverse our country is from a campsite perspective. I mean, this morning we were in Vic Bay, and now I'm sitting in Die Hel. You couldn't pick two more polar opposite, I guess, campsite locations. It's unbelievable. Have I got a favorite? No. I think you just want to kind of visit them all because they've got their own unique beauty and their own unique character. But this feels for me like I am alone in the world somewhere. It's called Die Hel. Hell's not a bad place. Yes, I eat a lot. Something I'm looking forward to tomorrow, if I survive my night in Hell, is to meet the bears. Like apparently the mother is one of the originals from Die Hel, but her son is he's got a distillery here, so he's doing vitlets and rum and you name it. But when I was at Kobusachat today, I saw this Buchu Blitz. Now there's a whole bunch of Afrikaans here, but apparently it's like medicinal stuff. But the thing that sold me, it says Die Ware Jakob, so this means it's the real deal, 45% alcohol. And one thing I like about the Afrikaans guys are they come up with some gems in terms of pearls of wisdom. Moenie drink nie en in die pad stap nie, jy kan sterf. Well, yeah, if you're drinking and walking on the road to hell, guaranteed you're going to freaking die. Let's try this, brother. Mouthwash. Lovely. That's good. That is good. Cheers. It's not bad. Never drink alone. Yes, to my alter ego. I don't know what's growing in here, but it might grow in my belly. Very, very lucky nights in Die Hel. Now I need a hell of a breakfast. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Sort out the dog water first. Okay. The plan is a very simple one. I actually haven't had time. We've been rushing around so much. Just have a nice breakfast. We're going to fry up some eggs. This for me is a miracle. We've done how many passes? Baviaans, Prince Albert Pass. The eggs from PE have survived. Incredible. Probably all going to be scrambled though. What I do love, through my own error, I lost the gas bottle that was mounted on the back. But we've gone with these two butane little gas canisters. So handy, quick and easy, sorted. But I want mushroom, some garlic, some tomato. Yeah, we need a fry up. Just saved us big time. Having fridge freezer, cold beers, cold food. Compartmentalized, really cool. So whatever I want, more mushrooms, good. Where are my tomatoes? Tomatoes, definitely some butter. Okay, that's just good to go. That's the ever hopeful Oscar. You'd always find him in the kitchen, even the makeshift ones. If there's food, he's got a nose for it. Yum, yum, yum. Got our garlic and butter and some oil going. Jeez, that smells good, eh? Change of location. That wind we were talking about is making it a nightmare to cook on these little butane gas burners. We've got our sweet corn going, our tomato mixed with garlic and mushroom is looking good, and then scrambled some eggs. Yum. Maybe we can do a cooking show. After 2 days of back-to-back camping and the showering being a surf in Vic Bay and an ice-cold shower in Die Hel, tonight our destination is Prince Albert and we're looking for a hot bath to soak in. We deserve it. I've got the perfect soundtrack for this place. Remember Chris Rea? This is the road to hell. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing it. Got to pay duties for that. I mean, I'm just imagining I had so much fun in that, in our D-Max on that crazy road to Die Hel. Can you imagine on the adventure bike? These guys are probably having the trip of their lives. Let's go have a chat. Hey, you guys, so tell us a story, because I mean that bike experience must be insane to Die Hel, eh? First time?
First time for me on a bike here. He came here for his anniversary. Your wedding?
No,
honeymoon?
honeymoon, yeah.
Yes, it's a good way to get to know your missus, eh?
Yeah.
She can't run away.
That was 13 years ago.
Okay.
No.
Incredible space though, eh? And where's the routing take you now? So you guys spent the night here in Die Hel, and then where do you go from here?
We're off to Berrydale.
Yeah, so we go out here, out the Hel again, then we go to Carlersdorp.
Yes.
We'll take a dirt road.
Dirt road to Carlersdorp.
And then Carlersdorp is very nice.
Okay, so you're not going because we're going to do that Sevenwerkspoort up to Maatjiesfontein way. But
Yeah,
you guys are ducking down.
Yes, we're ducking down.
Because that's beautiful. And they pass through there.
Yeah, funny.
And this, I mean, you guys do this like what, twice a year, or is it
As often
gosh.
Let's say every second month we go on trips and stuff. Yeah,
It's cool, eh?
yeah, no, we need to get away from it.
So I need to spend time with you because you also learn how to pack
Light.
with essentials. Because that's me. I mean, like I'm
Traveling heavy there.
No.
Well, light,
No.
but heavy.
I'm not the camping guy, so that's what makes this quite fun as well. Because we're properly overlanding, but you're packing so much crap that you're never going to use and need. You guys,
My wife used to pack for me.
Yeah.
I'm always the guy that has a lot of stuff. You know, the big bag.
All the toiletries. No, I mean, this is crazy. We've got band royalty here. Good old lithium days. I just loved what you said to me now. It's like you open.
Yeah, we open for Iron Maiden on a Thursday night, and on Friday we back at work.
It's nuts, eh?
Making parking meters, you know.
So frustrating. So that's
You go from like a massive high, and the next day you're just another factory oak.
it's actually a bit like it pisses me off in a way. It's a bit soul destroying because, like we're saying, the quality of artists that come out of this country, we just don't have the marketing behind it. Because you guys should be still going and carving it up overseas, you know.
Yeah, it brings you down to earth. You know, you go from being a superstar to an ordinary guy the next day. But yeah,
Don't cry now.
such is life in South Africa.
Peter, you've got to give us some truth here. Because I've heard so many stories. I've driven past Die Hel many times doing the Swartberg Pass. What is the truth about the Gamkaskloof? Because you were born here.
No, I wasn't born here. My mum was born here. But we're the 5th generation that's on the farm now. So I'm the 1st generation breaking the tradition now with a foreign surname. So I'm Joubert, but for 4 generations further back it was all Mostards. So the main families in Gamkaskloof were Mostert, Cordiers and Swanepoels and Marius.
How did they get here, and why did they come here? Because I mean, like you look at that drive, it's amazing. We're thinking like if you're trying to get away from people, you didn't have to go that far.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You must just remember that the road that you came in now was built in 1962. 9th August 1962 officially it was opened. So everything before 1962, the valley was actually isolated. So all the ins and outs
No way in and out.
were through canyons, through the Gamkaskloof Canyon all the way up to the Karoo, down canyon all the way down to Carlersdorp, and then even roads over the mountains, over the Swartberg Mountains. So there was no driven road that you can take with a vehicle into Gamkaskloof.
But then how did your first generations, how did they come here? Why?
Well, in the early 1800s, it was part of the Groot Trek. So everybody came from the Cape Colony all the way up to Swellendam and then to Ladysmith and then through Sevenwerkspoort. And then along with the riverbed like the Gamka, a lot of grazing for the cattle and sheep and stuff, and then discovered the valley down at the bottom here. So the first farms were bought in 1841 and by my great-grandfather. I must actually show you photos now. And so yeah, from there on, he's farmed on Baviaans 201. And everything that you see down at the bottom, that was his property. Till 1922.
It's amazing.
And then his will was read and he had 9 children. And that 9 children equally was divided 9 little pieces down in the valley. But a lot of those little properties, or even the ladies that got property. In 1922, a lady wasn't allowed to get property on her name. So immediately went over to her husband's surname. Okay. So, and that's where the Cordiers and Marius and all that foreign surnames came in.
And the name Die Hel?
Die Hel was a nickname. A nickname.
Helse Drive.
I think everything down here is hell. So, and it's the Hel or Die Hel is a wow factor for us today.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a good marketing name. Everybody knows about Die Hel. Everybody wants to visit Die Hel. So yeah, on a good year we could get between 9,000 and 14,000 people visiting the kloof.
Seriously?
I think a lot of factors nowadays with fuel prices, and people doesn't have that spending money anymore. People don't drive anymore. So, but yeah, we still Gamkaskloof, we're still poor and humble. We're down to the ground, We're keeping it like it is, like it was in the old days. When you step in here, you have to feel that ambience like it was about 200 years ago.
Peter, sadly, it was hot as hell a year ago as well, with the devastation with that fire. I mean, that carved its way. We can still see the remnants when we were driving in. I mean, that demolished your land.
Yeah, nearly a year ago now. Started 20 minutes after 4, and with the evening wind, it just went on and it burned for about 2-3 weeks later still, keeping on. And then after the flames were above ground level or extinguished, it still burned 3 months later, still underground. So a lot of people will visit you at 10 o'clock in the evening and said that it's still burning down there, what can we do? I said, well, there's nothing around that can be burnt, so it's the roots that's underneath the soil, and then soil collapsing and then getting a little bit of oxygen and start burning again. So, but from there on, yeah, it's a long way just to recover again. With COVID now, just after the burn, so a lot of setbacks, and but yeah, there's a lot of people out there that's helping. And you have to do everything yourself down here. Has to bring everything in from outside.
I was going to say, I mean, you've got to be completely self-sufficient. I mean, that road, I mean, it's amazing for us because we're driving it for the first time. But for you, I mean, I see the little post office is there. I mean, you deliver the letters yourself because they ain't going to come here.
I'm the postmaster
you're
as
the
well.
But it's like you've got to make a plan. And it is, like you say, about the Groot Trek. I mean, it's those people were 100% self-sufficient, and that continues here.
Yeah. No, definitely. You have to do it. And then the big thing is it's Gamkaskloof, and what you do around here is part of your life.
Yeah.
So it's part of history. And yeah, if nobody goes on with it and nobody goes on with the stories, and like me, busy writing a book, but after the fire I've immediately stopped everything, so I haven't touched the book. And the stories that's inside there is amazing. From the First World War, Anglo-Boer War, everything was, Gamkaskloof were always a part of it.
Yeah.
And even with a little motor car that was carried in, 11 October 1958, 4 years before there was a road. So yeah, so those kind of stuff, that's keeping Gamkaskloof alive. That's keeping the history alive for normal guys from Cape Town and Joburg to come and visit and to experience that.
Well, you've seen, I mean, you've seen a lot of guys on the adventure bikes now as well, and I think that's what they're buying into. And thank goodness that you stick around and continue that tradition, because I think it must be so easy, I see with your kids, to think, oh, no, this isn't our life, we want to go and chase the big city.
Yeah.
But with it goes the history, with it goes the story. So it's amazing that you continue telling that. What did you guys do with the fire though? Where did you go? I mean, that came straight through you.
I was on the roof. I was on the Spats roof the whole time, yeah. And then when the fire went through and the pipes burnt off, so we had to make a new plan, put the pump inside the swimming pool, and then we started again and pump swimming pool water. So yeah, that's the only place that we could have kept, and that's the only little green patch around here. So everything around us is gone.
Now, I had a look inside your distillery. There's some exciting new projects. A brew is probably the perfect term. Tell us about what's happening there, because that looks amazing.
It's taken quite a long time. It's now almost about 3.5, 4 years that I'm busy with it now. The tradition of distilling was from the earlier days, even in Gamkaskloof, with the original pots that was down here. So during the Anglo-Boer War, my great-grandfather helped one of the Boer people that was shot at the Slag van Driefontein. And Moor came all the way in with a wound, a badly wound. They shot him through his side of his cheek and came out on the opposite side, just behind his ear. And with the Nalu witblits that was distilled down here at the bottom, low percentage witblits that they used to clean the wounds.
To
sterilize
and
it.
to drink, take the pain away.
And then eventually he went out, and he was still a man after that. And so yeah, and that's how the witblits tradition is still in the blood. So. And I've sold for many, many years at the museum in Prince Albert and surroundings at other people as well. And then just decided that, well, it's time to do my own distillery down in Gamkaskloof under the name Hel Distilleries. So yeah, so soon it will be.
What will you distill here then? Witblits?
Or everything going to be like spirits. So it's going to be like a whiskey, brandy, rum, gin, that kind of stuff, all in spirits.
But people might come here and never leave then.
So it's fine.
I think that's the plan.
So yeah, so I'll show you now. And so yeah, we're quite glad that we're so far with it now, and it will be soon, in next year it will be up and running.
Peter, but thank you for keeping this going. and for telling the story. I think it's amazing. My first time, and it's quite overwhelming trying to get your head around how you survive, how you make it work, how you choose to live here. And for us last night, deathly silence, no cell phone. It's actually a wonderful escape, you know. But we go back to reality. For you, this is life.
Yeah.
And I think it's a special type of person that chooses this life. So amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's somewhat profound that the only way out of Die Hel is back the way you came, and it brings you out onto what is probably one of South Africa's most well-known passes, the Swartberg Pass. It's a relatively short but incredibly breathtaking drop down into the valley and then onto the town of Prince Albert. Prince Albert is the poster town for the Karoo, and it's a place that I know really well, having stayed here many times over the years. But this visit wasn't to explore, rather it was to unwind. And I know the perfect place to do that. Next time on Just to See How Far It Is. You sit up here and it is just such a beautiful place to reflect and unwind and relax. And what I love is, if you look right there, is the town of Prince Albert. Beautiful town, well established, well known, the hip little Karoo town. On my previous travels from De Rus through to Prince Albert and back, I always saw this little town called Klaastroom, and I've actually driven through it a few times and wondering who on earth lives in literally this one street town. Well, would you believe it, but my good mate and racing ace dog lover Richard Ritz's dad lives in Klaastroom. So we're going to go and meet Koos Ritz and find out what on earth he's doing here. That's from Reggie. Oh, from Reggie. He said I've got to give you a big hug. This is those stories you hear about the barn finds, because this is a hell of a barn with a couple of amazing finds. Talk about this. See how relaxed you get when you come to Numbi. You opt for rooibos tea, no sugar, no milk, instead of a beer or a glass of wine. But this is always it's good too. But this is always one of my favourite parts when I come here. I always ask Ross and Kath to make me a pizza, and it's a special pizza. Besides the oven being pretty funky, it's all of the ingredients straight off their farm. You do not get fresher or better. Pretty cool.